Some schools in so many African countries forbid female students to grow their hair. These schools neither allow them to keep their hair nor plait them, and these students have no choice but to obey if they still want to be addressed as students of these schools. But why is it so? Who pioneered this practice or rule, and what is the history behind it?
Stick to the end of the video because we will uncover everything. Let's first talk about why this is still being practiced in the 21st century.
Many students attend government or public schools, and it is these schools that tend to have restrictive rules for girls' hair. Only a few private schools like some Catholic schools and boarding schools practice the idea of enforcing their girls to be on low cuts. It is peculiar majorly among government schools.
I have been to one of these schools, and as a kid that I was and a hair lover, I always wonder what could be the cause of the school making it compulsory for our fellow female students to maintain a low cut like we the guys. I mean, they can decide not to make it compulsory and make it a choice for them, because I know for the fact that not every female student will want to cut their hair.
And I'm very sure that it is not written in the constitution of the Educational Service Policy that girls must go to some certain schools on low cuts.
I did a little research and I asked some few experienced parents, students and teachers to tell me the main reason why this is done. And some of the reasons are quite funny. In this video, we will talk about the 5 major reasons why some schools made it compulsory for female students to always wear a low cut, especially in countries like Nigeria, Ghana and Kenya. And at the end of this video, I want you to be the judge and tell us if this practice is right or wrong, because some people think it's a form of discrimination.
We can all agree that girls' hair are considered one of the things that make up their beauty. It's a way they express their self, their style, uniqueness and diversity, even when their hair is short, long or full. But when a girl is stuck in a position not given the privilege to express these styles, it sometimes becomes unfair, especially as a female student, when you see other students like you from other schools rocking beautiful hairstyles, therefore making you feel somehow just because of a rule laid down by a school. But these schools have their reasons for making this rule too, and according to my findings, these are some of the reasons. The first reason is distraction. In Nigeria, for instance, it is normal for female students in some government secondary schools to be made to cut their hair. The major argument behind this practice is that hair making causes a distraction, which will interrupt the full attention of the students, because women spend too much time taking care of their hair, and female students shouldn't be concerned about their beauty in such a young age. Instead, they should focus on what is more important, which is their education.
The second reason that got me laughing was that some claim that too much hair on the head makes students daft. So for this reason, they should always cut their hair. The third reason is uniformity. It sometimes feels right when every girl student sees that they all look the same as their peers. So the rule of girls getting low cuts was set to promote decency and uniformity, so that every girl is seen as equal, and to discourage envy or jealousy among the girls.
The fourth reason for this is hair expenses. It is assumed that students attend these schools because they can't afford private schools. Therefore, it would be hard for them to grow and maintain their hair, because black hair is kinky and it is expensive to maintain. Instead of spending so much money on hair making, it is advisable to spend a little money to cut them off. The fifth reason is to have control over them. Schools already control other aspects of students' lives, like their schedules and the time they resume, close or go on break. That's just the nature of schools, and hair is just one more aspect they can control. But what is the genesis of all this cutting of hair things? Let's go back in history. Many years ago, before Africans gained independence, the British colonial government made the cutting down of hair a basic requirement for West African girls whose parents were rich enough to enroll them in the castle schools, as a way of distinguishing them from the European counterparts. This act was practiced for years, and fast forward to today, it is still being practiced.